From the big screen to the small. It's Geek Week, the podcast of the year. Join the fun with laughter and cheer. Toys collecting and tales from the past. Tune in now, the good times will last.
We dive into movies that make us dream, with memories like a childhood theme. TV shows that caught our eyes, let's collect the moments and rise.
Like, share, subscribe, don't miss out. It's Geek Week, the podcast of the year. Join the fun with laughter and cheer. Toys collecting and tales from the past. Tune in now, the good times will last.
Like, share, subscribe, don't miss out.
I love it. What an intro. I love that. It's never going to get old, is it? It is never gonna get old. Hello, welcome back. It's Geek Week. Did I get you get me loud there, did you?
Mate, no, there's some crackle on your microphone. I'm not sure if that's for everyone, but damn!
Is there? Can you hear
Oh,
it?
every time you talk, it's like static.
Oh, that's not good. Is it still
Ooh,
there?
yeah, massively.
Oh,
You sound like a Dalek.
that
Ooh.
wasn't it. Oh,
Oh,
Ooh.
mate. I can't even hear you anymore. It's just Dalek noises.
hang on. I was just about to do the big intro.
I know, it was fine a minute ago.
How's that? Is that right?
I can still hear it. Shelley's saying she can't hear it, though. Is it at my end?
Oh, let us know in the comments. Am I staticky to everyone? I think it's your end, Ash.
Hang on.
Beth can't hear it. Shelley can't hear it.
Oh, dear. What's going
Andy
on?
can't hear it. It's you. It's not me. I'm really sorry. I'm really sorry, Sorrell, but it's you.
Hello?
It's not me. it's you. It's not me. Everyone no one can hear it. That's fine. Well, I tell you what. Why
I can't
Sorrell
hear you now. Oh, no.
Why Sorrell sorts out his audio, I'll do the intro. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Geek Week. It's episode 178 with me, Jacob's Toys. Oh, he's not here. I can't do it. And of course, you know who he is. He's the wonderful one and only SuperSorrell. He'll be back in a sec. He'll be back in a second. This is episode 178, believe it or not. 178 episodes deep. This week, we are going to talk about what we want from Hasbro in 2025, along with a whole bunch of other stuff as well. As we always say, if you're watching live, then obviously join in with the chat, throw some comments up, let us know your thoughts and stuff on the things that we're talking about. We'll do our best to get to the comments as we go through it. If you're watching it on repeat, I can't even ask him. Look, normally I say, Ash, what is it they say? Use the hashtag #CatchUpCrew. So wherever it is you're watching, we go out on a handful of different platforms. So wherever it is that you're watching, here he is.
I can hear you now.
You hear me now?
Whoa, that was weird.
I just said the bit. If they're watching us on Catch Up, what do they need to say?
Hashtag catch up crew.
There you go. Shelley jumped in as a very quick replacement for you there. But yes, so join in the comments. Obviously, all like, share, subscribe, all those kind of things. We do appreciate you. Thank you very much for tuning in. Couple of quick shout outs to people in the chat that I can see. Elias and Luigi is there. Andy Roberts is there. John Hood's there. Joshy Boy Toys is there. Shelley's there. Bethany Beth's there. Jack Addison's there. If I've missed anyone, I'll get to you, I promise. But there we go. So, Sorrell, how are you? Now you fixed your audio. How are you doing, buddy?
I'm good, man. Do you know what? I feel like a hypocrite this week, though.
Why?
Because, well, you know, like we always do that thing, and I kind of always, you know, I get on my little high horse, and I'm like, you know, I'm done with Marvel Legends. I'm done with them. I don't like them no more.
You bought Marvel Legends. You got him. Mine's over here.
So I finally got Dracula. I haven't got the rest of them, but I've got Dracula. But then, to my surprise, mate, Hasbro contacted me months ago, if you remember, and I sort of said, they sort of asked me if there's anything that I'm hunting in a line at the moment, and I said the only other thing I would want would be Michael Morbius.
Yeah.
Well, it's taken them a damn long time, but I tell you what, they came through in the end, and they sent me the VHS 2-pack of Morbius and Doctor Strange.
Oh, nice. Nice.
So I finally got my Morbius. I remember messaging him ages ago and saying that it'd be cool to get this Morbius because it looks more like the Midnight Suns Morbius, like the original Morbius with the blue rather than the black.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I finally got him. So happy days.
I haven't had a wave of Marvel Legends for a long time, but I got it. I got the wave. I got the wave. Reason being, and I like the new boxes. I like
The box
the new
is nice.
boxes. But the reason being is I did want the Build-A-Figure, and for the most part, the figures in the box, there's a good 6 maybe that I'm kind of wanting for my shelf. This guy though, the Weapon of Vengeance, because I've got my Ghost Rider collection, I've got all my Ghost Riders, and I was kind of like, you know what, I can skip this one, but I can't because it's still a 6-inch figure of a Ghost Rider, of a Ghost Rider-esque figure. So
Do you know what I was going to suggest? Have you still got the black bike that the Punisher came on?
yeah.
So use that bike, put that Helverine on it, and put some fire effects on the bike.
Good shout.
Because Logan rides a lowrider, so I mean, it would work. It'd look awesome.
It does. I got some Legends as well this week. I got some Legends. Had to get Deadpool's Colossus.
That is nice.
That actually came in last week, and I forgot to pull it out. But yeah, this guy is cool. I mean, I liked Colossus in the films, and I was gutted that we didn't get a figure earlier. But really pleased with it. And much like everyone else, Wolverine turned up.
To be fair, I am probably going to pick up the Wolverine and Deadpool from that line. I will probably grab them just because the film was so good, and I'm guaranteeing they're going to make Gambit and Blade next year. So,
well,
I think I need that line.
Deadpool isn't out yet. He's not been released, but Wolverine started shipping early last week.
Okay.
I've got to say, I've not even got him out of the box yet, but this is probably one of the best Marvel Legends I've seen in a very long time. Like, they really put the detail and the effort in on this one. Speaking of Deadpool as well, I didn't show you this after MCM, but on the Marvel booth, they were giving away these little freebies, that little key rings.
Oh, nice.
But they're the actual boxes. Look.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, so they had a Wolverine one and they had a Deadpool one, but I only managed to get the Deadpool one, which I'm happy about. I'm pleased with that. I'm pleased with that. I'm not gonna say no to that. But the other one as well, I told you about this. Look, did I show you this one?
Yeah, the HasLab patch. That is cool.
It's actually like an embroidered patch to go
cool.
on your jacket or on your shirt. I think if it does get funded, I think I'll attach it to a jumper or something, just to show my allegiance. But yeah,
you'll have to get the Ghostbusters jumpsuit and put it on that.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to sit here in a whole jumpsuit. And Steve, I did a post about my Green Goblin helmet, and Steve said, "Oh, I need to get a couple of pumpkin bombs." So I thought I'd get it out because there's my pumpkin bomb. I did get one. And I've got my little Spider-Man mask as well, which is cool. So
nice.
I've got a little head coming for this to go up next to my Green Goblin, which is really cool. Really, really cool. There's a little pack of cards there that I know.
Do you know what would make a great display piece? This is like something that like Keith Lemon would do on his channel, but like you need to make a silver trash can, a small version, just a small half one. Have it on top of the shelf with the Spider-Man mask hanging draped over this thing. Is like he's binned it, like in the comics.
That'd be cool. That would
look awesome as a display piece.
That would be very cool, wouldn't it? That would be very cool. But yeah, no, it's been a good week. It's been a good week. So we're obviously talking. We're going to get onto it a little bit later, but we always have a theme for the show. And this week we're going to talk about what we want from Hasbro in 2025. Yeah. So the idea is kind of the figures and stuff that we're hoping are going to be announced, are going to be kind of revealed and in the pipeline and bits and bobs. So we are going to get to that a little bit later. Before we do, though, I think we need to talk very slightly on Cobra Kai.
Yeah.
Because
where are you up to? Because I don't want to say anything out of turn.
I don't want to give any spoilers away for anyone that might not have seen it.
Thing is, it came out, and I literally, I think it uploaded at like 10 a.m. or something, and I sat there from like 11 until 3, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I binge watched all 5.
Yeah,
in one straight sitting.
I sat down and watched the first one with my eldest son because he's a big fan.
Hmm.
But he got late, he had to go to bed, and then he said to me the next morning, he was like, "Do you mind if I watch it? Because I'm seeing spoilers everywhere." I was like, "Just go for it," because obviously I had things to do.
Yeah.
And then I binge watched a load this morning before everyone was up. So I think I've got like one, maybe 2 episodes left.
It's so good.
Oh, it's brilliant. It is brilliant. It's brilliant.
It doesn't feel like it's coming to an end though. It feels like it's ramping up.
Yeah, I definitely think it's going to lead into the movie.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
That's definitely where I think it's going to go. Me and my son were having arguments about this, and I was like, I think it's going to lead into the movie because they're not going to, it's not even giving spoilers away, but there's a massive Mr. Miyagi kind of story arc, isn't there? And there just isn't enough time for them to kind of complete that before this TV show concludes. So I think that they're going to have to lead.
Well,
that's going to bleed into the movie a bit.
Here's the thing, right? Here's what I think now, because this is nothing to do with the thing. There's nothing in these episodes that even hint this. This is just me, blue sky thinking, doing what I do, where I like to think ahead. I've got a feeling in the final 5 episodes we'll find out that Cobra Kai was originally the Mr. Miyagi was part of the creation of the Cobra Kai, the Way of the Fist. And that's why he created Miyagi-Do as a way to counter it, because Miyagi-Do is all about balance and all about defense, whereas that is the polar opposite of Cobra Kai. So I wonder whether he learned Cobra Kai, got injured because of Cobra Kai in the tournament. That's why he's got blood on his thing and that. Someone died in his fight that we already know about. That was in episode 1 of this series. Mm-hmm. So there was that whole thing of, he always said you shouldn't do competitions. It's not about competitions, it's about self-defense.
Yeah.
I think he was originally taught either he was taught Cobra Kai and something happened because of it, or he helped make Cobra Kai.
Yeah, that's a good shout.
That'd be amazing, because imagine Daniel, that would shock Daniel to his very core and cause a fucking breakdown of the character. Everything he believed.
His
gone.
whole life has been revolved around this. Yeah, no, that would be massive. Yeah, I don't know where it's going. And I think that's what makes for a really good. I mean, there's some really cheesy, obvious things.
Of course.
And then every now and again, something comes out and you're like, what? No, what? Where is that going? Yeah, it's just really good television. It really is. And I'm kind of disappointed that it is coming to an end, because I wouldn't want them to drag it out. But I think it could easily go on for more seasons.
One more season at least.
Yeah. They could have different generations of fighters come through and students becoming teachers and all this kind of stuff. But
they've already said this is not the end of the Miyagi verse. This is just the end of Cobra Kai. This is the end of Daniel LaRusso's chapter of Cobra Kai. So I think we'll retire the older actors now, but that doesn't mean that Miguel won't pop up in the future, or Hawk, or these kids have obviously learned karate to do this. Yeah. It's clearly them doing it half the time. So I mean, they've learned a lot to do this. So there's no way they're just going to leave it there.
No, there's definitely potential. There is definitely potential for them to have, you could have a similar to what Camp Cretaceous did, where they've kind of gone now to Chaos Theory. Yeah. And even though it's the same group of kids, you could have easily had a different group under that name. And I think they don't need to have the Cobra Kai name. It could be like Cobra Kai something, or do you know what I mean? It's because the characters like Miguel, obviously I think we're going to see a completion on his story arc, just because obviously the actor's off doing other things. But there's Daniel's son, Daniel's daughter, there's Johnny's son, there's so many. Robbie, for example, could have a full series on his own, because he hasn't got anything after this, has he?
Nope.
So I don't know. I'm just loving it. I am loving it. It's really good television. And it doesn't take itself too seriously, which I really like. But yeah, it's good. I think I might binge the last couple tonight.
Yeah, get back to me when you've seen them.
I'm trying to think what I can tell you. What have I? They're entering the final stages. They're in that last bit.
Okay.
So yeah, there is maybe 1 episode, maybe 2, maybe 1.5. I don't know. I don't know. I'm near the end. I hope to get it finished before we came on tonight, but obviously we wouldn't want to say too much anyway. So there we go. He's just drinking his coffee, just not saying a word. Not saying a word. Cool. Anything else big happened this week? I'm trying to think. I'm trying to wrap my brain.
That was kind of like the big thing for me was Cobra Kai. I've been waiting for this since the last, because obviously I did this last time it came on. I binge watched all 5 in one sitting, so I'm waiting now till February. So that was the big thing for the week for me. But other than that, I mean, Christmas is on its way. The year's dwindling away. We're only about 40 days to the end of the year now. It's time's ticking on, man. It's crazy.
Christmas is very close. Christmas is coming up very close.
I'm already starting to film and plan videos for Christmas now, which is nuts.
Yeah, I know, that's crazy. See, we've had this conversation in previous years, but like for me, my Christmas list doesn't really revolve around anything here in this room. Like I don't do Christmas presents from this side of stuff. Like I let the kids and the wife and that get me other stuff, and then this kind of stuff I sort out myself. But you know, some people, Christmas is a big time, isn't it, for picking up figures and kind of putting those orders in and stuff. I'm kind of caught up in the HasLab as well. That's kind of where my head's at the moment, because obviously we've got the Ghostbusters HasLab, and it's really slowed down. I don't know if you've been keeping an eye on it, but it's really slowed down. So we've not gone over that 10,000 mark yet. So we need 12,000 to open it. We've only got 15 days left on it, and it's still only sitting at 9,200 backers. So we're still like, what, 2,800 backers off.
It'll have hit it. Bear in mind, they always do that thing at the end where they put the international market on top.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's just, it's quite exciting for it to be at the stage where it's not fully funded yet. But I haven't really been following the marketing behind it, because they started off quite strong, didn't they? And then they opened up the Tully to everyone around Halloween time. But then I've not really seen anything else since.
No, it's kind of gone very quiet, and I think they will ramp it up around Christmas time. I reckon that in the next few weeks, like leading up to Christmas, it'll ramp up again.
I didn't show you this, did I? So what they were doing when they were this little thing here, when they were at MCM Comic Con, they were giving away these little cards. So it was like the 2 weeks to Tully, and you could scan to order, and it told you and everything, which was cool. But what I really liked is on the front of it, look.
Oh, that's cool. His business card.
How cool is that? It's a proper business card of him. But then obviously on the back, it's the 2 weeks to Tully thing. So I just think for like a, let's go. There we go. Oh, my fingernail looks really dirty. Do apologize. I was cleaning out the office beforehand. But yeah, I just thought that's a very cool little thing. So I'll put that with my display. So like the little card like with the display. So they were giving away quite a few good freebies at the HasLab kind of giveaway. So there we go. But yeah, I'm excited for it.
Yeah, we're also 2 weeks away from the new Star Wars Skeleton Crew.
Yes.
And obviously they've started their like ramping up their stuff for that. Did you see that they've now got a new? I'm trying to find the details of it. The new like toy marketing behind it. Did you see that?
No.
Keep talking.
Okay.
We just get it. We just get the details. It's one of them. You know, like they've done the season of the Force, and they always call it something, don't they?
Oh, it's the gift of the galaxy or something.
Yeah, something like that. It's I'm just trying to find the official name now on the Hasbro's Insta. But yeah, basically every single week they'll drop us some new products on a certain day of the week and all that good stuff. I can't find the details. Never mind. There it is. Gift the Galaxy. Yeah, Star Wars Gift the Galaxy.
That's what I said, wasn't it?
I can't remember. I know they've called it many things over the years. It's basically one of them kind of campaigns again, where they're basically releasing some a new product reveal like every week until the launch of the program. It's to do with Black Friday, Christmas. So it's this time of year they start doing it. But they released a couple of they did a Gaming Greats one with the Trooper and the droid, and then they also released the 2-pack from the Jedi Fallen Order game, the Jedi guy from the game.
Yep.
So that's pretty cool. But what caught my eye on their thing this week was the Dungeons and Dragons trading cards that are coming out by Super 7 and Hasbro. It's a joint effort, and there's some old style 80s style trading cards coming out for the Dungeons and Dragons cartoon.
Are they a straight release as trading cards, or?
Yeah. So it comes in blind bags like it would, and you've got to pull the cards and all that good stuff. It's to celebrate the anniversary of Dungeons and Dragons, the cartoon, and Dungeons and Dragons overall 50th anniversary.
Super 7, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, mate.
Super 7 Hasbro trading cards. They're very 80s style trading cards. They come in those old style paper style bag packs as well, not the foil ones. Like old style packs and stuff.
Oh, why are you telling me this now when they're out of stock?
They're sold out like hotcakes, mate. They sold out within seconds.
Mate,
Super 7 stuff always does, though.
I missed this. Completely missed this.
It went completely under the radar, mate. Completely under the radar.
Yeah.
They didn't talk about it enough. I don't think they thought it would be as popular as it would be.
Yeah, I did not see this at all. Oh, mate.
I know.
Oh, you could literally buy a box set of 24 packs.
Yep.
Oh, $168.
I know you're into your trading cards well at the minute, aren't you? That's what made me mention it.
Oh, mate, this went massively under the radar. They're like old school as well. They've got a sticker in there. They've got you can put the back of the cards all go together for a mini poster.
It's a good set. It is a very good set.
You know what though? There are only 60 cards to collect, 24 foil cards featuring stills from the animated series, 24 non-foil cards, and 12 character cards. Oh, mate.
It's very attainable.
Even if I bought that as a 24 pack box, if I didn't pull the whole set, I'd be really annoyed.
Well, you wouldn't. I don't think you would get the whole set in one pack, mate. To be honest, in one box.
Oh.
You probably need at least 2 boxes to get a full set.
Beth said, "Don't blame me for not sending links." Yeah, you didn't. As
well, we've got to talk. Sorry, go on.
Have all the links you could have sent. I would have hit buy right away.
Well, as Beth said in the comments as well, I was very good. Oh, I can't speak stutter. Very gutted this week. The Joker movie deluxe set, from the Murray's office scene, from the movie.
From the it's the films, the talk show again, isn't it?
Yeah, the Murray Franklin and Joker 2-pack they basically created with a fancy diorama setup.
It is absolute dogs. It really is.
Do you think?
Yeah.
I see. I was excited for that pack.
No, I was excited for it, but let me just address this, right? First of all, that doesn't look like Robert De Niro. Right?
No, it was never going to though, was it?
You're going to put 2 figures in a box and one of them is going to be Robert De Niro, make it look like Robert De Niro. It doesn't look like Robert De Niro stuff. There's hardly any accessories in there. Let's be honest. There's a couple of hands. I think that coffee cup is in there. Mm-hmm. They haven't done heads. They've done face plates instead of alternative heads. So that's rubbish. The diorama's nice. I like the diorama. It's pretty accurate and all the rest of it. But the price on it is ridiculous. That's
what I was going to raise. Yeah, the price, $209.95, is well out. I don't know what McFarlane were even thinking with that. That's like HasLab level prices.
People will buy it. That's fine, and I get that. And you know what you spend your money on is what you spend your money on. That's not anyone's business. But let's be honest. People are kicking off because the Hell Charger was up at $300 or £300 or whatever it was. And then you've got this that's kind of like half of a room, 2 figures, a coffee cup and a couple of face plates, and a Robert De Niro figure that doesn't look like Robert De Niro. And that's it's well. And my other concern as well is McFarlane figures. I haven't had any in this last year, so I don't know if they've changed it, but McFarlane figures for me were not the most posable figures.
Yeah.
And that scene, that diorama scene, they're both sat down. So, are you going to be able to obtain realistic looking seated positions with these figures?
They've tried to in their photo they've released, but it's not the best. But they have tried in their
There you
photos.
go. If you're going to pay 250 quid for something, like you want it to at least be able to pose properly.
Yeah, I was gutted that this pack ended up being as crap as it was, because I was really, when they announced and showed the photo of what it, like the set idea, I thought that was an awesome idea, because we've not had too much in the way of the Joker merchandise for that
No.
universe. So I was like, that is a cool piece. And I was thinking, like, if you removed the Murray Franklin sign, you could basically do what you want with that set. It would just be a cool talk show set.
Oh, massively.
Um, But yeah, it's 209. What are they thinking?
You know what, I do think as well, the success and failure of the second film, if the second film had hit as well as the first one had, I think this set would have been, everyone would have been raving about it. But I think that the fact that the second film wasn't quite as good allows people the opportunity to kind of go, oh well, it's, you know,
Wasn't quite as good. It's a lot worse than quite as good.
it wasn't
It's
quite
frigging
as,
diabolically bad.
it's not a good film. Yeah. It's yeah, it's not. There's a whole theory that they made it bad on purpose.
I wouldn't have even put it past them at this point. It looks that way.
There is a whole theory because the Arthur Fleet character was so idolized. In reality, he was like a psychopath. Because he was so idolized following the first film, the internet rumor is that they made this one so bad to kind of make people go, "Oh, he's not that great. Like he's, you know, maybe he's not the hero we all thought he was." So, yeah. Bethany Beth with a little bit of info there saying, "Last I looked, it was sold out on Entertainment Earth."
Damn.
Fair enough. Speaking of pre-orders going up and stuff, have you seen Store Horseman?
No.
Have you not?
No. What have I missed?
Okay. Google now the Mythic Legions Reign of the Beasts wave.
Boop, 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 boop. Mythic Legions. Reign of the Beasts.
Is stunning.
Oh yeah, these are the ones that I was talking about last week.
Yeah, but these are now, the pre-orders now up, and they've got all of the photos are up. This is the one with the hyena, but I hadn't seen all 7 characters.
So I tend to get the other one, the figure obscura. I will order through 4 Horsemen to get it, because they're usually in stock and they release them really quickly. This is a pre-order, and their pre-orders notoriously will last years. They are terrible at getting figures out fast. So I tend, if I'm going to order these figures, I tend to order them through one of the third party kind of websites.
Yeah.
In this case, usually Emporium of Cool. They're normally the ones to go to. But I think Props and Replicas have started stocking them now as well, or at least when they're coming to stock, they're getting them in stock. I'm not sure if they're still doing the pre-orders for them. But yeah, the line looks really nice. I mean, that Arya, the Talon Bearer, the dragon sorceress, she looks awesome.
The lion is ogre size as well, they've said. So he's like an oversized figure. I like the snakes. I like the
snake royal guards.
It's the big red guy as well. Like that's what I thought. I thought he would have piqued your interest.
See, he's made up of parts of what I've already got, so I could make that figure from 2 Mythic Legions that I already own. I've already got all the pieces for that one. That's the thing. Once you start collecting mythics, you'll start recognizing the bits from them. So, like, the only new pieces in that set would be the head, and the like serpent piece that you can put underneath to turn him into like a genie thing almost.
Yeah.
But his lower half is Krampus, and his upper half is I forgot the name of it. It's like a red demony guy, but it's basically they've put the 2 figures together basically.
Yeah.
And put a new head on it. But no, they are nice. Ones that you might like, that you want to try and track down third party, was when they did the He-Man crossover. Did you ever see those?
Yeah, I know.
Mythic Legions Purpler. It looks amazing.
Yeah.
I had that at one point, and I sold him on. But
Um,
Purpler was my favourite. It was obviously the purple battle cat in Mythic Legions form as a humanoid, and he looks amazing.
Yeah, he's not on their website anymore.
No, this was ages ago now.
Yeah.
But do you know what? Did see some light for the first time in, I don't know when the last time they produced one, to be honest. SH Figure Arts gave us a brand new Lord Voldemort and Harry Potter.
Oh,
Based
really?
on from the and it's based on the Goblet of Fire one. So it's Harry Potter in his Goblet of Fire red and black outfit, and it's from the final, the final battle scene with Voldemort.
Oh, I missed that one.
Mate, the Harry Potter looks amazing, and the Voldemort actually looks good. That Voldemort's a figure I might pick up because I've still got the McFarlane one, which isn't the best.
I don't know. I just, for me, with the Harry Potter figures, I just want to, if they're gonna do it, I just want like a decent run of characters, so that if I was going to collect it, I'd want to be able to collect them in the same scale, in the same
Yeah,
ways.
figure arts aren't the best for that, to be honest.
No.
It's kind of hit and miss. But they also did a bunch of Lord of the Rings figures. Do you see those? Because obviously they've got the rights to do the War of Rohan, the new Netflix anime. But they're also going to be doing some of the original Lord of the Rings movie figures, and they've just announced Frodo and Gollum and Aragorn.
Yep.
And
Which
they look
I'm
pretty
surprised
good.
about, because Diamond Select have obviously just done this, so they're, anyone that would have been interested in getting like a modern Lord of the Rings figure would have more than likely have picked up the Diamond Select ones. So to kind of bring something out this close is really testing the water.
The one thing that the SH Figure Arts will have going for them is that it's cloth, not plastic.
Yeah.
So this is Lord of the Rings is very heavy on cloaks, and obviously Diamond used the plastic-looking cloaks rather than cloth.
Yep.
So the Lord of the Rings line might render itself quite well to SH Figure Arts because it will all be cloth-based. That's why their Harry Potter figures are usually good as well, because like it's all robes and things. They do feel pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I get behind that. I can, I'm not mad. Anything where there's new figures out of old properties, I'm never mad. So yeah, it's all good. It's all good. Yeah, Shelley just said there, and Lord of the Rings. I just want decent. I don't know.
I'd love a decent, just to echo what you said. I just love a decent Harry Potter line. To be honest, my wife loves Harry Potter. It would be awesome to collect something together like that, like a high end figure of all the characters.
Yeah, and they don't need to be super articulated, but just detailed enough. And I don't know. It just seems like it seems like a franchise that's gone massively under the radar. You know what I mean? They don't seem to have attacked the adult collectors market.
Yeah, to say how big the franchise is and how much it does resonate with adult collectors, the lack of merch, like figure merchandise, is insane.
Yeah. And
Criminal.
I just think that it would lend itself. I mean, you only got to look at the Lego Harry Potter, how well that does. Like it's because it's people that grew up watching the films and kind of grew up with the cast and with the characters and that kind of stuff, that have adult money now, that would want to invest that in something that was nostalgic. Like that is nostalgic for a lot of kind of adult collectors now. If that makes sense.
Yeah, my wife collects the Lego, and I was talking to her about it not long ago, and she did say, because I asked her why she collects that and not the other like Harry Potter toy stuff, and she said because at least she knows that the Lego stuff is going to be consistent. So like all the figures will go, you know what I mean? Like all the sets, all the figures go with everything. So I mean, there's no compatibility issues. Like they all look like they belong together. Whereas when you suddenly start trying to make a display piece out of all the different other toys they make, that's by about 10 different companies, so they're never going to scale and stuff.
No, just doesn't work. So, all right, let's talk Hasbro. Let's talk Hasbro in 2025. That's what our theme is. So for anyone that is new to the show, every week we try to do a theme and kind of have our topic of conversation kind of revolve around that, and it gives us a little bit of opportunity to kind of put that in the description of the video. So this week we are talking about what we want from Hasbro in 2025, and I think we can't really start this conversation without addressing the elephant in the room, that the licenses are up for renewal in 2025. So Marvel, Disney, like Marvel, Star Wars, like all the Disney kind of properties are up for renewal, and there's nothing set in stone yet to say that Hasbro have got those licenses to continue, have they?
is it that because isn't this like all with all business? Eventually, after so many years, a company has to put something up for tender, doesn't it?
It's something
It's
along the lines.
competition law, isn't it, and things like that. It's something to do with that. So it's not necessarily that Disney want to pull out. It's just
No.
that the license has been with Hasbro long enough now that they've got to put it up for tender, and other companies can bid for the for the action
Yeah.
of the business.
Yeah.
I think that's how it works.
Yeah. And I think it does, when you look at spending production habits and stuff, like we don't have any HasLabs for Marvel or Star Wars in production that are due out next year, which, no one's said that's why not. But I was reading a Reddit post earlier about people kind of wondering whether that's why we haven't got HasLabs coming out this year. And it makes a lot of sense. Like there were other people there sort of saying like, you know what, that does make sense. But then there was a bit of a sub conversation going on with the pre-order models that they're using at the moment for things like Dragon Man and Sentinel and stuff, and how people prefer that. And they're now concerned that that's just a kind of an attempt through this kind of tender period. So yeah, there's lots of ifs and buts and maybes.
Mm. To be fair, like I was saying, we were sort of having a quick chat about this before the show started, and to be fair, I don't think it's a bad thing. Sales have dropped massively. Things are starting to stagnate on both Marvel and Star Wars lines. They're not giving the fans what they want. And just we are going around in a big circle. I think it is time that another company took the reins and had a go at it, really.
Yeah, I
Or
mean,
or Hasbro needs to take this as a serious wake up call and give themselves a kick up the backside a bit.
yeah. I think if nothing else, I don't think that Hasbro will lose it personally. I don't think they've done enough to warrant somebody else taking it on. What would be really interesting is to see what other companies kind of bid, what other companies kind of put forward as what they would do with the license, because you look at the big players, you've got like McFarlane, Mattel, there's not a huge amount of other companies out there that could do what Hasbro do with like the Legends and Black Series lines.
But is that because these lines are with Hasbro? I mean, like no one else has made those lines because they can't, because the license is currently with Hasbro. No one else can produce that style of figure because of Hasbro. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but you do have them though, don't you? You do have other
So you have like
characters.
SH Figure Arts, but they've got it's like when like recently Funko lost their rights for Five Nights at Freddy's,
Mhm,
and it was basically they lost the master license, meaning they couldn't produce some of the things they produce now, like the action figures, but
mhm,
they could still produce things that were classed as Funko centric, so Funko pop vinyls. Funko mystery minis, Funko, the snaps and things like that, because they're products that only Funko make. I think
yeah,
it'll be the same issue with Star Wars and Marvel. So, like SH Figure Arts have a very distinctive look and scale. They are 4.5 to 5 inches. They're not 6 inch. They're super articulated and they're Japanese inspired.
mhm,
The look of them and things, they are very. They're Japanese when you look at them. If you get what I'm
yeah.
saying, like they look like a Japanese toy. I think that is the thing with the toy with the licenses. No one else can produce like Hasbro produced the Black Series or the Marvel Legends in that style of packaging, in
Yeah,
that style. That
yeah,
style is the Hasbro centric look and style. So no
yeah,
other company can compete with that. They have to create something else.
yeah,
Hence why you get like the Titan line and SH Figure Arts have got their line, and other companies will make Marvel product, but they can't make anything that is in direct competition with the Hasbro style.
yeah. I mean, it could mean a lot. Can you imagine if they lost the Marvel license, for example, and Marvel Legends kind of stopped?
Yeah,
Like,
that'd be mental.
that would be crazy. That really would be crazy. Like all of a sudden, these peg warmers would become so sought after because it would be the end of the line, and it'd be like with like when Hasbro took over from Toy Biz, like the Toy Biz figures kind of became a little bit more sought after for a while.
So I'm wondering whether, similar to what happened with Funko, whether Disney will do the same thing, which is they will remove the master license. Because right now, I believe Hasbro do have what is referred to as in the business as the master license, meaning
Yeah,
they can produce anything. I think that luxury will be taken away from Hasbro. Personally, I'm wondering whether they'll have to maybe look at the Legends and Black Series line as their core lines, and other manufacturers will have an opportunity to create newer things in action figure form and try and directly compete with Hasbro.
Yeah. But there we go.
Imagine if they did this. Imagine if something like Hasbro could produce comic book action figures, but could no longer produce things for the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and they move the cinematic license somewhere else. They could split that license.
Yeah. See, that's kind of where my thinking was going. Is you like with Marvel, you've got two very distinct. Well, same with Star Wars, really. You've got two distinct kind of types of figures, and the divide is a lot more obvious in Marvel Legends, I think. Alex just said in the chat, there's a lot of live action stuff that we're missing. They started with the Fox Legacy series, but we never got Storm, Cyclops, Jean. I'd like to see the Fox Fantastic Four receive some love, and the Illuminati. The Illuminati is a good point. I mean, we're talking about what we'd want to see from Hasbro in 2025, and that's down as one of my kind of waves. Is although the Doctor Strange film was packed full of potential things that they could make figures from, they didn't touch on any of them Illuminati characters, which I just think is a gold mine that they're missing. Deadpool and Wolverine, again, like you mentioned earlier, Gambit, Blade, Elektra, X-23, and Hot Toys, interestingly enough, I don't know if you saw that this week, but they teased this week that they're releasing those in Hot Toy in that 1/6 scale. So they teased kind of almost like the side of the box, and it was like a kind of purpley one with a playing card, like a red one with like a Elektra's weapon. There's like X-23s was blue, maybe, I think, with like the two claws. So they're going to make 1/6 scale figures of those characters. But with Marvel Legends, we've had absolutely no sniff of whether they're touching anything in that film other than one Wolverine and one Deadpool, and a Logan in a random costume that we never even saw him in. Like, it's odd. Like, it really is odd. Or does this mean that once 2025 hits and we know that the license stays with them, are we going to get an absolute influx of movie figures?
Potentially. I think it could be a case of Hasbro don't want to. They might be scared themselves that they might not get it back. The company itself might be in a bit of a panic state and wondering if they're going to get the license.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They could be panicking themselves, knowing that they've got to renegotiate this license with Disney. I don't see it moving away though, personally, because let's face it, Star Wars has been with Hasbro since when it was known as Kenner. You know what I mean? And then obviously Hasbro bought Kenner. So I mean, it's Star Wars has always been with this company, or within this sort of essence of the company, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So I don't see Star Wars moving away at all. And why would Disney want to move to Mattel or someone like that who have their competing licenses for DC and things like that? I think it'll be renegotiated. I think there'll be some new battle lines drawn, if you will, but I can't see them losing it personally. But it would be cool to see something new.
It's definitely interesting. Definitely interesting. All right, so let's talk what we're wanting. Let's talk what we want from Hasbro in 2025. Do you want to start, or should I?
So I've kind of done mine in a couple of different ways. Have you just chosen like action figures that you want to see, or because I have gone a bit over the top? I think I've gone for like full on things that I'd love to see from them as a company and things like that as well, like blue sky thinking.
Yeah, so I've gone for some characters that I'd like to see. So
Cool.
Specifically some characters, but then there's a couple of other things as well that I would like to see kind of done a little bit differently.
Cool. Go with your first action figure then. I've got 2 action figures on my list and then a bunch of blue sky thinking.
You've only got 2.
Yeah, for me personally.
Oh, hang on, I'm going to look for it. I may have to pick.
No, you can choose. You can rattle off as many as you want. I'm just saying, I went a bit overboard with the idea of like some other stuff, basically, that I think we'll end up talking about for a while.
Okay, if we're talking comic book characters, I'd like to see a Yellow Jacket. We haven't seen Yellow Jacket. That seems like an obvious thing that they just missed so many times. A lot of people are still using the Yellow Jacket from, I think it's a Toy Biz one. It's a horrible figure, but I'd like to see a new Yellow Jacket. I'd also like to see a new Iron Patriot as well. I know we had one just recently, but I'd like to see like a really decent one. I'd like to see Hope Summers. I'd like to see a better Howard the Duck. I would like to see where's the other one? Not that one, not that one, not that one. Not that one. Not bothered about that one. There is one here. I'm just going through my list. Hang on. Oh, Madam Web. There we go.
Nice.
A Madam Web. I would like to see and the Madam Web one for me could either be Madam Web from the comic books or Madam Web from the animated series.
I'd love to see them try and do a deluxe Madam Web from the animated series on a card back, on the purple card back. That'd look amazing.
Yeah, but they could easily do it with like a
Hmm.
because you know her chair and her kind of web thing. It's all quite thin, and they
Hmm.
could easily have it that it all snaps together like and makes the so it wouldn't take up a lot of box. Wouldn't take any more space than like a deluxe box.
You know, like when they did the Iron Man, it came with the fancy box for the like accessory
Yeah.
piece. Do that basically. Like have the figure on the card back in the bubble, and then have the accessory block on the side.
Yeah. But what I'd really like to see, like I collect both comic book and MCU, but what I'd really like to see, and I kind of touched on this a minute ago, is for them to attack the MCU side of it, but more. Like it just doesn't feel like we've had a huge amount. It doesn't feel like there's a lot of love going to the MCU, and it's even things like at MCM they obviously announced the Red Hulk, the Falcon, and the Winter Soldier, Falcon and Captain America figures, but that was it, and it was like 3 deluxes. Whereas 4 years ago that would have been a whole wave. There would have been a whole
Yeah.
wave of figures and a deluxe and all the rest of it, and it just feels like at the moment they're very like reserved when it comes to the MCU side of it. And I kind of think back to the Infinity War and Endgame kind of lead up, and it seemed like every other figure was an MCU figure of some kind. And I just think there's a lot of characters that they haven't touched on, that they haven't given us the full works on. Like Moon Knight, we got a couple of figures. There's so many more that they could have done in that. The Agatha, we haven't had any sniff of figures. Werewolf by Night, we haven't had figures. Spider-Man No Way Home, we're still missing figures. Like there's so much, and even to the extent where I know that we've kind of briefly touched on Venom by getting a Venom and a Carnage now, but there's so much more that they could have given us from those movies. And I know that's Sony, so it's slightly different, but there was so much more that they could give us. And I'd like Hasbro to kind of give us more of that kind of preempted MCU stuff. I liked being able to have the figures in hand before the movie came out or at the same time the movie came out. Like it still really frustrates me, the whole No Way Home side of it. The fact that we're missing Electro and the Lizard still, and there's no sniff of whether they're coming or when they're coming, to the extent where it's like, well, I want that as a display, but it looks incomplete. So if you're not going to complete it, like, then I won't bother. I'll go somewhere else.
Yeah.
So yeah, so focusing on MCU. So figure wise, that's my kind of list. I could give you the full list of all the MCU figures, but it's not worth it. Basically, if they haven't touched it, I'd quite like them to consider it. That's the best way of summing up my MCU list.
Okay. Well, for me, the figures that I've got on my list, I would still love to see, and I've mentioned it a few times, but I would still love to see a Dracula and Blade first appearance 2-pack.
With the bomber jacket and the
So
glasses.
yeah, so he's in the he's got his bright orange glasses on and the green horrible cloth. That's the first appearance Blade, but Blade sells, and they've always gone for the Wesley Snipes modern looking Blade. Go back and give us a Blade from yesteryear. Couple him up with a Dracula, because then that's 2 birds, 1 stone. You can give us the original Blade and the original, the vampire that lives Dracula, the Tomb of Dracula style. And the other one for me would be, in keeping with this Stranger Tales wave that we've recently had, give us a deluxe figure of Manphibian, because Manphibian is owned by Marvel 100%. It's their creation. Yes, it's inspired by Creature of the Black Lagoon, but they created Manphibian. I know there's probably issues with Dracula and Frankenstein licensing wise. They'll probably have to stick to certain boundaries because other licensors and all that good stuff like Universal Monsters and things. But Manphibian is a 100% Marvel creation.
Yeah.
And they've never. I don't think they've ever done a figure of Manphibian. I think maybe back in Toy Biz.
Yeah.
Did they? A long time ago, I think.
We did. I'm sure we had one. Or did I
Let me have a
just make
look.
that up?
No, we have had one. We have had one back in the day. I think.
I'm just having a look now.
No, there's a lot of customs actually. I can't see an official one.
No, we didn't. No.
And obviously with the new Man Thing body and stuff, it would be so easy to do.
Oh yeah. Oh, they've got the stuff out there to make it. Like that'd be easy. That would be really easy. My thing with my 6-inch figures at the moment is I seem to be going down a bit of a what's the best way of describing it? Hang on. I'm just looking something up to lead into. Yeah, I seem to be going down a bit of a not supernatural is the wrong word, but with the Strange Tales wave, I really like the idea of what that symbolized. And with the Ghost Rider figures I've got, and with the Four Horsemen kind of skeleton army and stuff, like with these beasts, with that hyena, like I really like that kind of setup.
Yeah.
And I just think that there's more characters in Marvel that they could approach, they could touch on. And I spoke to Dwight about it with the Strange Tales in regards to, are we going to get more of this kind of darker side of Marvel? Like I'm really over getting a new version of Iron Man and a new version of Captain America every time. Like I have the characters on my shelf now, and I don't know whether that's because I've kind of gone to 1/6 scale, but like Loki here, prime example. So I've got Loki there from Age of Ultron. No, not Age of Ultron. Infinity War or one of them. I don't know. But it's a classic Loki from the movies. So I've ticked that box. So when it comes to the Marvel Legends side of it, I don't feel the need to have the Lokis on display because I'm like, I've kind of ticked that box. Whereas with the Ghost Rider side of things and the kind of more supernatural side of things, it's quite cool to have this kind of 6-inch mix match of displays and stuff and figures. And maybe I've been spending too much time with you, but I'm kind of like, I don't know, like that appeals to me. And I think it's just this Strange Tale has really opened my eyes to this is something a little bit different. This is something that changes the collection up a bit than just being just your superheroes. And I'm a massive mark for Marvel, like and superheroes and stuff, but there's something really appealing about something being slightly different. So,
I think it's because we've all had that superhero fatigue now, and these are the darker anti-heroes of the Marvel universe. These are the different level of superhero, isn't it? It's still within the Marvel Comics universe. It's just the other side of it that they don't touch on, and that's probably why we're excited because we haven't got it yet. Whereas we've got 1,000 Wolverines, 1,000 Caps, which they'll always have to produce for new collectors. I understand that, but it's cool to see when the hype when they released a Man Thing, the hype when they released that Stranger Tales wave that came out of it, and how many people have now picked up the Legion of Monsters comics because I've seen it on the groups. So many people have picked up the Ghost Rider books now and Elsa Bloodstone, and people are learning more about the darker tone of the universe, which is awesome. And I think they should continue that because there's so many characters. Like you've got like Orgo and Nakantu the Living Mummy and Vampire by Night, and they've got so many different ones they could touch on, like Manphibian, and there's a whole universe of darker anti-heroes, like Frankencastle. I can't believe they've never done a Frankencastle.
No, I know. Dwight did mention him, actually. He did mention him in our interview. For me as well, with Ghost Rider, for example, there are a lot of other Ghost Rider characters than the ones that they've given us. And it's even simple things like Danny Ketch, like as the blue version of him. Like I would like to get the blue version of him with, give us new tooling and stuff just to kind of flesh that display out. Because I think Ghost Rider's another one of those that he always seems to sell just because he's cool looking. Like you know, a guy in a leather jacket and a flaming skull like will always kind of sell. But there are so many other characters, both male and female, that have kind of had that spirit of vengeance and taken on the mantle of Ghost Rider in some way, shape, or form. And I think that, you know, just to touch on those and to kind of give us more of those characters would be
Even a
beneficial.
caretaker. We've never had a caretaker.
You know, that's frustrated me, but I think I've got a 1/12 scale caretaker coming. I think I've sorted it. I think I've
Is
sorted
it Scarecrow, the Marvel's version of Scarecrow? Is it called Scarecrow? He was one of Ghost Rider's enemies for a long time.
Mm.
I'm sure he's called
I know who you
Scarecrow.
meant. I can't remember what he's called.
I'm gonna look him up. Marvel Scarecrow. Yeah, Scarecrow. I thought he might be called something else because obviously DC Scarecrow. But yeah, it's literally the dude in a Scarecrow mask.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was one of the big villains for Ghost Rider for a long time. Back in God, this was Tales of Suspense is where he comes from. That's
Oh, I know.
Silver Age.
I know. The thing with Ghost Rider as well is they've not really touched on any of the like you say, any of the not villains. Villains the wrong word, but the people that they go against. We've not really got any of those. I mean, obviously you have got ones that cross over into other comic book lines and stuff like that, but there's just so many. There's so many characters on that side of Marvel that we just haven't got into. Like Mephisto as well. Like I'm pretty sure we're gonna get Mephisto next year, but there's so much. There's so much in Marvel that they haven't touched on that they need to touch on, and I would quite like to see them go in that direction. But Todd McFarlane said in an interview recently, and I do apologize, I can't remember who it was that I saw interviewing him, but he said like his mentality with Batman is that, you know, there's always somebody that's a Batman fan, and that's why they produce so many. And just because the collector, you know, like myself or you have bought all of the previous figures doesn't mean that somebody is going to walk into that store that day and pick up a Batman figure because it's there. So I do get why they kind of push out Captain Americas and Wolverines and Spider-Man and stuff like that. But for a while, like with Spider-Man, for example, we were getting so many variations and variants and stuff. It was really quite exciting.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know.
And of course, we've got like Marvel's Conan. Why have we never had a Marvel Conan on the Marvel Legends line?
It must be a licensing thing.
It must be. It has to be. But he's now obviously he's in the comic books. He's crossed over with the rest of the Marvel universe now in the comics because obviously he's in the Dark Avengers.
Yeah. It must be a license thing. It must be. Another thing that I'd like to see from Hasbro in 2025 is I would like to see some really, I don't want to say affordable, but I would like to see I'd like to see the HasLab format done properly. That the PC way of saying it, because it always seems that when a HasLab comes out, people fall in one or two camps, and that's either that it doesn't matter if I have to sell my car, I'm going to purchase this, or this is ridiculous and such a waste of money, I'm never ever going to put my money towards it. And then there's always that third person who comes in after it's been released. Has anyone got a spare that I can buy? Anyone selling at retail? Like, do you know what I mean? So I would really like them to kind of do it in a way that made it more accessible for everyone, because I think with a lot of fans, if if we rounded it down that Marvel Legends fans, for example, made up 100 people, even if you took out half of that as people that would buy your HasLab regardless, we're missing out on those 50 other people. And I think if it was made more affordable to those other 50, it would become a lot more popular. Does that make sense? Because I don't think that there isn't a collector out there that if they were given a huge figure of a Sentinel or a Galactus or whatever, that they wouldn't go, this is amazing, this is the best thing ever. But there's so much hate towards it because obviously the price and the way that it's marketed and the way that the kind of the platform works. So I'd like to see them kind of readdress the HasLab format.
Yep. I've said before, like imagine it doesn't always have to be something that's bigger and badder and better. You know what I mean? It doesn't have to be something that breaks the bank. If they're scared that Werewolf by Night wouldn't sell at a mass retail and that there's going to be loads of shelf warming, why don't they release the Werewolf by Night MCU figure as a HasLab funded project? So the idea is, if you want it, you have to pre-order it and back it. If it if it reaches a certain number, it goes into production. It's a one and done. You know what I mean? Once that pre-order's done, it's never coming back. It'll never hit retail again. It's done. That figure's out. That'd be a great way of doing some of these niche characters that people are requesting for years and been saying, like, these are for the diehard fans, but we know they won't sell at mass retail because it's not a Wolverine, it's not an Iron Man. So that's fine, but give us those figures as like a HasLab style funded pre-ordered project.
They could have one every month. Like, it could literally be a rolling thing that every month the HasLab opens on the 1st and closes on the last day of the month, and you need to reach however many backers in that time for that figure to go into production. And they could literally push a different one out every single month, and the anticipation of what would be coming next would be great for marketing. The ability, like you say, to push out characters that they're not going to put at mass retail would be fantastic. And I think it would keep people hooked. But we've said previously as well, like, even just HasLabs of waves or box sets of figures and stuff, like, you know, just to do something and to kind of make it more affordable. And I think if they did something smaller but cheaper that more people were able to get, I think they would get a lot more HasLab fans.
I like Beth's idea as well, which says off maybe from their vault. So, like, reducing old figures that maybe have been in production previously and do a small run of them at a pre-order rate on the web on Hasbro Pulse. That'd be a great way. Like, if they were to come around and, like, some of those older X-Men waves now that cost a fortune, if they've got the molds, it could be very easy for them just to go, well, you know, we could redo that wave as a second printing of the wave, mark the boxes with the thing that says this is a second edition 2024, whatever, and then push it back out. That'd be amazing. So, like, people can get like Sauron and the Badlands and all that, some of the really cool, you know, older figures.
Even like, I'm going back into the day now where, like, back in the day when it was like PC games, there was a whole wave of PC games called White Label. I don't know if you remember them. And they were older games that they re-released, but they released them in like a white box. So it'd have a small picture of what the game was. Like,
I don't know.
So yeah, small picture of the original box, but then the rest of the box was white. And I just think like a White Label line of figures would be phenomenal. So you literally do, the boxes are just white and they've just got on the, like, written on it who it is. And then they, like you say, they go back and they pull older figures out that they haven't produced, or even if it was like a HasLab kind of wave of figures or something, and you just scrap them, like scrap the packaging department and bring your costs down and put them in White Label boxes. So it is a case of, here are these figures that you missed.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. So, because I am a fan of the HasLab projects in the respect of the ability to do something that they can't do at mass retail.
Yeah.
But I don't get how everything is so different. I don't get how, you know, the Hell Charger will come out at £400 or whatever and have this amount of accessories, but then the X01 will come out at less with so much more. Like, it's like they're making the rules up every time for every single HasLab, and I think that's where people kind of lose faith in it a little bit.
Yeah, 100%.
But 100%. Yeah, so that's my bit.
So, you know, back in the day when Hasbro were given like a bit of, well, I think it was Kenner actually back in the day. We're given a bit of an artistic license when Star Wars had run out of films, and they made, you know, they made a bunch of lines of figures for Star Wars from franchises that didn't even exist. They made up their own franchises.
I am here still. Yep.
How cool would it be if they did that now with Ghostbusters? Because obviously we've run out of stuff for them to do with Ghostbusters, really, if you think about it, but the license is still there, and I think it will sell. Imagine if they made up their own style of figures and gave us Ghostbusters International.
Yep, 100%.
So a line of Ghostbusters that have got their own names, and like you've got the London team, the Paris team, the Moroccan team, you know what I mean, the Russian team.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
and give them their own distinct, identities and make up some characters. Have a bit of artistic, thing with it and have fun with it.
Yeah. Or
How
just
cool would it be to do like a line of Ghostbusters all chasing after the ghost of Jack the Ripper or something? That'd be amazing.
well good. But also, like, we joke about it, but when Kenner did Batman and they just
Mhm.
pumped out every single version of Batman you could imagine, when the Turtles came out, you would have, like, originally the kind of late 80s, early 90s Turtles. You'd have your main line of Turtle figures, then you would have your Summer Vacation Turtles, you'd then have your, Sewer Mutation Turtles, you'd then have like your Halloween Horror Turtles, like, and they did a similar thing with Batman. With these IPs that they own, like Power Rangers, with Ghostbusters, like all that kind of stuff that they have that artistic license to do, like, give us those, like, pump out a bunch of Ghostbusters in different colored costumes.
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't even be mad if it was the original lineup in different colored costumes, or in, the same as like Power Rangers. Like, give us. They did it already in regards to like the metallic versions and stuff like that, but just flood the market with different versions of these figures. And I know that they all cost money. I know that there's that element of it, but I just think that when you've got the IP yourself, the ability to kind of really push the boundaries is there. So why not do it?
Yeah.
Like, Ghostbusters would be a really easy one, because you could literally just make up ghosts. Like, they wouldn't even have to be like, as a fan of the Plasma series, if I don't get an Ecto 1, I'm not really sure how to display my Ghostbusters, because it's just 4 dudes in jumpsuits. Like, do you know what I mean? Whereas if they gave us like 20 random ghosts, I'd probably end up getting them all just to flesh out the display. And you like you said, you could do anything, like really anything with the ghosts. But it just seems mad that they haven't.
Because it would just be bodies in jumpsuits with different heads, really, and like just the patch would be it would be the British flag or the French flag or whatever. So it'd be
Yeah.
so easy to pump out a couple of Ghostbusters from that region to
Yeah.
make it the Ghostbusters International line, and like you say, a bunch of random ghosts just made up that from
Yeah.
that from Britain's history or whatever. You know what I mean? It'd be so good.
Or even, oh, now I'm really going outside the box, but similar to what G.I. Joe do, where you've got
Mhm.
so many accessories in the box that most people will be displaying their figures different to the next person. Like, do us a Builder Buster box set or something, like where you've got your jumpsuit, your standard jumpsuit, you've got 2 or 3 head options, you've then got different head accessories, you've got different kind of body accessories,
Yeah.
you've got different proton pack bits that you could, and surely it wouldn't cost that much money to create these little bits, because a majority of them you could probably blend from GI Joe, let's be honest.
Yeah.
And then you would have all these Ghostbusters pimped out in different ways. Like, you'd have like your heavy artillery Ghostbuster with a bigger pack and like the bigger gun, all this kind of stuff. Yeah, and just a bunch of ghosts. Give us some ghosts.
Well, here's the fun thing, because it's funny you should mention G.I. Joe, because how cool would it be if there was a line of figures where they did touch on that G.I. Joe, and that maybe that there was a supernatural element to G.I. Joe, and that they had to call in the Ghostbusters as a crossover, and so you get a line of G.I. Joe cross with Ghostbusters, where the Ghostbusters are brought in to stop the evil occult of the Cobra Commander.
Yeah, that would be wicked.
I thought that'd be awesome.
That'd be wicked. Just
So you got a bunch of Joes teaming up with Venkman and Egon.
yeah. But the thing is that, like, you haven't even got to worry about backstories. Like, with the ghosts, you could literally just throw them together. You could do like a zombie, you could do like a vampire, you could do a, like a Frankenstein type thing. You could do some random kind of ghosty type things, and they would just flesh out displays, and you would get people buying them because they would go with other things as well. Like, I feel like I'm relying too heavily on other brands and other lines of figures for characters to display with my Ghostbusters.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, just some ghosts. That's what I'd really like to see. And on that kind of note, we will know prior to 2025 whether the HasLab has been successful or not. And Emily said that if it is successful, that's kind of indicate on where the future of the plasma line goes. That if it is successful, then there's quite the potential that we're going to get more plasma series figures.
Cool.
So yeah, get some ghosts.
I'd love to see them as well revisit the Fortnite line, because I think the Fortnite line could have been great. They just didn't go about it the right way.
No.
So Fortnite, what they should have done is make it so it's transferable to the game, for one. So I think if you buy the figure, you should have a DLC code for the skin. And you should have a way of being able to, like, say, if you own that figure, you own the skin for the game. That'd be a great way to help kids get new skins for the game.
Easy marketing.
Easy marketing.
Easy marketing.
The figures themselves should be a little bit cheaper than what they were, but they should only come with heads and hands, no accessory pieces, right? Because every character lands in Fortnite with no weapons. They are just a base, skin. Then they release the accessories in little green ammo boxes or little chests, right? That are blind bagged. So literally, you open the blind bag, you get the rifles, the guns, the knives, the pistols, the bombs. All the weapons are inside those chests, just like in the game.
Yeah. Brilliant, mate.
And every chest has a DLC code for 50 V-Bucks as well. So again, you've got the element for the game, the code to scratch off. The kids they get 50 V-Bucks in the game, which works out about 35 pence. Yeah. It cost them nothing. And then they just have a load of little plastic guns, which would have come with the figures anyway, but now we've just put them in a plastic box for an extra $4.99, $5.99, wherever they want to charge. That would make the figures sell more, I think, because there's a crossover with the game element, and it's more in keeping with the game, the marketing of the game.
Yep.
This is also where Lego went wrong. Lego did the same thing, and they've gone wrong as well. Lego should have been about the minifigure blind bags. They could have made a whole wave of minifigures on Fortnite and made them as a blind bag series, just like, because that's what it is. It's all about the skins. The kids care about the skins.
Yep. It's funny. My son was just saying to me earlier, because obviously Cobra Kai crossover with Fortnite, don't they? And they do.
Yep.
And oh, the Cobra Kai skins are coming back. I was like, I don't want to be running around on Fortnite in a gi. Like, that doesn't appeal to me at all. And he's like, yeah, but I can get like all 5 skins for like 2,000 V-Bucks. I'm like, okay, cool.
It's crazy, isn't it?
But yeah, you're right. Though you are right. That they should have made the toys in line with what the element of the game is. That would have been a winner. That would have been an absolute winner. Or the flip side of it would have been to make the figures the way that they make G.I. Joe figures. That don't make them as cartoony, because they tried to make them a little bit too cartoony. Like make them a little bit more robust, and then just fill the boxes with stuff. Like, I agree with the QR code and the downloading that stuff, but fill them with stuff. Like give them loads of stuff. Because that's what Fortnite's about at the end of the day. Fortnite is about skins and stuff. Like, let's be honest. Like, you don't need to worry about the building element of it. You don't need to worry about any of that kind of stuff. It's the stuff and the skins.
Yeah.
And that they could have crossed that line over into. They should have done a massive crossover wave with the Star Wars, the Star Wars, the Ghostbusters, the Power Rangers, the Marvel, like all of the lines and all the properties that they own. They should have done a Fortnite wave. And we've said this before. Yeah. Of all of those characters. So, yeah.
Mate, just do Jonesy as the character, because that is what happens in the game. Just have Jonesy as Captain America, Jonesy as Darth Vader, Jonesy as, and just do a wave of figures like that. That'd be amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. Whatever happened to the selfie series?
Oh, so they made the selfie series. It was only available in select countries. It was rubbish. The people didn't look anything like the figures. So Hasbro just canned it. I don't think it wasn't there yet for mobile. But if the figures that were produced at Comic-Con a few years back, where they physically scan your face with the machine that rotates and all that good stuff, them ones were good because it was an actual 3D scan of your face. The ones that you do on your mobile where it kept failing and you were like, that just didn't work.
No.
It was a blurry mess.
No. I think the concept was so good.
The concept is brilliant.
I think it was just a little bit ahead of its time.
Yeah. Yeah.
A little bit ahead of its time. So do you want to see anything new from Hasbro coming into 2025? Or would you just like to see new things the same, or is there anything that you would like? Is there any properties that you would like Hasbro to get hold of?
Oh, new lines, complete new lines.
Yeah.
Ooh. Because obviously Hasbro are so good at making those like the Marvel Legends series stuff, the Black series. It'd be cool to see them get I've said this all along, a Disney, like, because they already have the Disney license. So I mean, Disney action figures has always been a thing for me that's always been lacking. The closest thing we got with the Disney Infinity figures, but they weren't the best. But a highly articulated Buzz Lightyear, like a decently articulated Buzz Lightyear that also scales with a Zurg and a Woody and a that'd be amazing. Or even Aladdin, Hercules, Tarzan, the hero characters of the universe, like Mulan, Peter Pan.
I was going to say the same. Like the fact that they deal with so many of Disney's properties anyway, I'd love to see them do like a Disney legacy wave or line where you get those kind of characters. I suppose the difficulty is that each one is slightly differently designed than the next. So there's no kind of reuse. It would be a new tooling and new molds and everything. But I think you do your standard figures, they would fly off the shelves.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. But yeah, I'd quite like them to do something with Disney, but I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I've always said an action figure line based on Toy Story that's decently articulated would sell within a heartbeat.
Yeah. Yeah.
You give us a decently, like I said, an articulated Buzz, a fully articulated, like Marvel Legends style Buzz Lightyear. It doesn't even have to be based on the Toy Story one. Have it based on what Buzz Lightyear was meant to be within the universe. You know what I mean? Give us a Buzz Lightyear in the box with the wings on and everything. You know what I mean? Go for it. I'd love that.
Yeah, that'd be wicked, wouldn't it? That would be really good. I would like to see as well something like I don't know, like even something like Kingdom of Hearts kind of line again, like, and just sort of see those kind of characters come out. But I don't know whether that's something that Hasbro could do.
That'd be amazing.
Yeah, I don't know if that's something they could do.
One thing that would be cool to see brought back, because obviously we've not had figures for this kind of stuff for a long time. But I mean, I'd love to see Hasbro get their hands back on. Well, it was Kenner, wasn't it? But I'd love to see Kenner get their hands back on like Jurassic Park or one of these big licenses they've not had for many years, and have another stab at it. Because like I say, Mattel have been doing it for a long time, but it is starting to stagnate a bit now. It'd be cool to see another company get a stab at it.
Yeah, that would be good. Ryan Dutch in the chat just said a Disney deluxe line like Marvel Legends would be incredible. Lots of ground to cover. Good call. Yeah. See, there we go. There we go. There's 3 people here who'd buy it. That's already, we're off to a good start.
It's because Disney as well. The thing is, they hold onto their princess license. Like they would never do it. So like they would never allow the princesses to be involved in that line because it just wouldn't work. It would have to be called the Heroes of Disney, and it would have to be characters like Tarzan, Hercules, those characters that would fight and have swords and accessories, because they would never give you a fully articulated action figure of Belle and Cinderella. It wouldn't happen because there'd be too many idiots like me and you that would they would edit the crap out of these figures and turn her into like Zombie Belle or something, and they wouldn't like that.
Yeah, I'll just turn them all into. There was that bunch of artwork that showed them all as kind of warriors.
Yeah.
That would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
I'd definitely be in for the full wave of those.
Because I mean, McFarlane tried with that new game that never really took off, and then I think the license died. But they tried, and they did look good. They're like steampunky versions of Belle and stuff. They were pretty decent. But I don't think Disney liked them figures because they quickly vanished after like one wave.
They did disappear, didn't they? Yeah, I don't know. I would like something fresh. I'd like something fresh from Disney. I mean, like Marvel wise, I think they've given us pretty much everything that we would expect. You know what I mean? Like they give us the role play items, they give us the big figures, they give us the stuff. I would like them to attack vehicles a little bit more. Like I was a big fan of the Riders series. just a shame it was the same 2 or 3 bikes that they just kind of painted differently. But I
Yeah.
think something along that line would be quite cool.
Yeah, I just, especially because they've obviously got the Power Rangers thing. I'm not sure who holds the license for the rest of their stuff. I mean, like, how cool would it be to see like the return of Beetleborgs or the Masked Rider and VR Troopers, and because they're
Yeah.
all Saban Entertainment at the end of the day. I'm not sure
They
if they
should have done
would
them.
have the license for that, but that
They
that would
should
be
have
awesome.
included those. They should have come out as part of the Lightning collection.
Hmm.
They really should have done that, because for anyone that watched Power Rangers back in the day, you watched at least one of the others, whether it was VR Troopers or Beetleborgs or whatever. But you watched one of the others, and to give us figures in the same vein, under the same umbrella as those parents, to have like a VR Troopers and the Beetleborgs all stood next to each other, produced the same way, would be stunning. Would be
Yeah.
wicked. Would be really good. I don't know if I'd go for the main character from VR Troopers though, the one with the face. Like, he used to freak me out. I was like, come on, either have a face or a mask. But a mask of a face just always freaked me out a little bit. But I'd get the other two. Just get the other two.
And another thing that I kind of had an idea about would be so similar to like the Marvel What If, but how cool would it be to have to like give Star Wars a bit of an oomph again? How cool would it be to have a Star Wars What If line?
That would be brilliant.
So what, like, it's all action figures that are completely made up, but it'll be great. So what if Luke Skywalker joined Darth Vader and didn't, and fell to the dark side? What would that figure look
Yeah.
like? A Luke Skywalker that joined the Empire.
Yeah. Yeah.
Stuff
Similar
like
to
that.
the white Darth Vader that they gave us.
Yeah. Yeah.
But basically like a full line of real, just kind of really obscure things. Like, what if Yoda turned to the dark side? What if Princess Leia was a Jedi? Do you know what I mean? Like all those kind of things, and just gave us those really obscure, over the top things,
If Mace Windu survived Episode 3, what would he look like now?
Yeah.
Things like that, like really obscure randomness, but like things that would just, for a Star Wars nerd, they're amazing little things to have in your collection.
Yeah, they would be really cool. They would be really cool. Bethany Beth said Luke in a Darth suit. But yeah.
What if Anakin never did Order 66? Like a full Jedi Master Anakin Skywalker.
Yeah. Shelley said Lego have done something similar with the Dark Millennium Falcon. Yes, that's exactly where we're at with this. Yeah, Darth Jar Jar, like those kind of things. So like Lego have put it out there, and I must admit it does appeal to me, that Lego set. But yeah, just that kind of thing as action figures. Like a Darth Jar Jar, like the internet went mad with that theory anyway, that Jar Jar Binks was really a Sith. And the fact that we've not had a figure of that is beyond me.
Mm-hmm.
Really is beyond me. But I don't know. But I think that'd be really good. I'd quite like to see that as a series, to be fair, like what they're doing with the Marvel What If.
Yeah.
That'd be quite a fun series to actually have as well.
I've got a feeling that something like that would already be in the works. I really do.
Yeah.
It's too obvious, isn't it? It's too obviously there.
Yeah. Did you, just quickly before we do finish though, did you see the What If trailer, the Marvel What If trailer for Series 3?
I've seen bits, I think. I've not watched the full trailer yet, no. But I've seen bits of like clips and stuff.
You seen who comes in at the end of it?
No. What do you think?
Yeah, Storm's at the end of the trailer.
Oh, Storm. Yeah. So Storm's coming this season.
Yeah, it was like, hey, we've got X-Men now. Let's just put them in. Let's just X-Men in everything. But yeah, I think a Star Wars What If would be brilliant, and I think the What If TV show is so popular because of how obscure it is in places, that to do a Star Wars one would make perfect sense. Like,
just get Ashley Eckstein to voice it and set it to look like that world between worlds that Ahsoka and Ezra both went to in the cartoons. It was like it was like multiple doors. Have that as the setup with her voice. The Star Wars universe is an expanded universe, and other outcomes may have been. Let's see the echoes of the Force. Something like that, and they basically go through a door, and it's Anakin as like he never fell to the dark side, and young Luke and Leia are now with him, and Padme never died, and That would be a cool story to like see play out.
That would be very cool. That really would be very cool. Star Wars wise, though, I don't know. I just
That's another license that has reached, I think it's end now with Hasbro. What else have they got left to produce?
yeah, it's like it does feel a little bit like they're kind of, I don't want to say scraping the barrel,
Coming full circle.
but they're pulling out a lot of obscure characters now, aren't they? And
Yeah.
not in a way that, oh, we're going to give you these obscure ones as fan service. It's kind of like, who else can we do? Like, we do. I I would like to see them do something similar to, you know, like the Droid Factory at the parks.
Yep.
I think that's a massive missed opportunity that they haven't done some kind of, even if you did like the humanoid kind of droid, like the C3PO kind of size droid,
Yeah.
but did a wave of them where they were all interchangeable, so you could snap bits off and change them over and kind of create your own droids. Like that just seems like a no-brainer.
Yeah, I believe it is Hasbro that do produce them for the parks. To be honest, I believe it because most of the molds are the same as the Kenner and Hasbro molds.
Oh yeah, definitely. But my final thing before we do round the show up, my final thing from Hasbro in 2025 is I would really love them to announce that they're gonna release 6-inch versions of of Visionaries. That they were going to readdress the Visionaries license and give us a full wave or 2 waves of the way that they produce figures now of Visionaries, because those old figures are great. They're great for nostalgic old figures, but they are not the action figures that we get nowadays. And if they release that, then I would be all in for that. I think it would quite possibly replace one of my other lines. But that's my big if at the end.
That would be very cool.
Yeah.
They own so many franchises that they've not even touched on in years, have they?
No, not even touching on, which is, you know, it's just criminal. Yeah, I'm not even gonna look it up now, because Visionaries is where it be. Visionaries is where it be for me. John Hood said I'd like to see Micronauts. Micronauts would be quite cool, actually. Good shout. But yeah, Visionaries, 6-inch, Marvel Legends, Black Series style. Actually, it'd have to be Marvel Legends. Marvel Legends, G.I. Joe style articulation on the Visionaries. Something about that futuristic armor, like it'd be wicked. And even bring back a hologram. Give us hologram stickers again.
Bring back Action Man. Bring back Action Man.
What, as a figure? That is a
6-inch instead of a 12-inch doll line. Make him a 6-inch action figure. Just bring back all the toys all the same ones we had. Just make them 6-inch now. Imagine that the really cool police one with Raid the dog and everything, with the body armor and stuff. Imagine that as a 6-inch figure now. That'd be nuts.
Here's my prediction. I've thought about this before. I honestly think we're going to see Action Man introduced into the G.I. Joe line.
In G.I. Joe line. That makes massive sense.
I think it's going to happen. I think it's going to get to a stage where we're going to get G.I. Joe X Action Man, and they're going to put one in as a test, or 1 or 2 of them in as a test. And then if they do well, they will give a full wave of Action Man variations or whatever. Because obviously back in the day, Action Man was always kind of like the same person in different costumes. Yeah. But you could release them very much now as different characters. So just, you know, really generically, you've got your standard Action Man, you've got your scuba diver Action Man, you've got your police Action Man, but they're different characters as opposed to the same character in different costumes.
Yeah, I would love them to redo Action Man, because the villains would fit in with G.I. Joe quite easily, because they're quite cartoony, obscure, like weird. Like the Dr. X character would just fit in with everything they're producing right now.
Hands down.
His little green claw hand.
So yeah, now that was my thought. I thought about this a while back, actually, and I thought Action Man. I was supposed to mention it at MCM, but I didn't. But I think Action Man's going to come into the G.I. Joe line.
Yeah, as a 6-inch line, that'd be amazing.
It'd be a lot of fun. Makes it, again, like same with G.I. Joe. It'd be generic characters that would work really well across a number of different lines.
That'd be cool.
That would be fun. What are we talking about next week? What's next week's show? I can forget. Black Friday.
Is it Black Friday already next week? Let me have
Yeah.
a look. Let me have a look. I think it might be. I think you might be right. Oops. No. What are you doing? Stupid internet. What are you doing? Behave. Live. Next week. Yeah, my God, it's Black Friday special next week. And then the week after, we're with Triple G.
Yes. Shelley's even said that she's in sunny Orlando, so she's going to try to join depending on what she's doing. Looking forward to Black Friday over there. Yes,
Yeah.
take your elbow pads and your hockey mask because you are going to be fighting people off.
Are you there for Thanksgiving, Shelley? Are you going to be there for Thanksgiving itself? Because it's obviously the same week, isn't it? It's on the Tuesday of that week.
Oh, yeah.
So you'll be there for Thanksgiving Day. That'll be crazy.
Wow, that's mental. That's cool, though. That is cool. Yes, so we're going to do a Black Friday special next week, which is basically we're just going to pull up all the Black Friday deals that we found elsewhere on all over the place and talk about what they are and whether they're worth jumping on. And then, as Sorrel just said, the week after that, we've got Triple G coming back, and we're just going to talk comic books, which I'm looking forward to because I've got a few comic books arrive recently, which is quite fun.
Nice.
So yeah, we're gonna be talking comic books. So yeah, that's about it for this week. Thanks everyone for tuning in. We do appreciate you and joining them in the comments. We tried our best to get to them. I don't think we missed too many. Very quickly at the end, look, Jack Addison there said, I'd love to see a company like Hasbro or Mattel get hold of the Planet of the Apes license at some point. That'd be pretty fun.
That'd be cool.
Very fun. But yes, we do appreciate you. Obviously, check out the descriptions of the videos, wherever it is that you're watching it, and go give us a follow and stuff over on various different social medias. We will be back the same time next week with episode 179, which is mental. By the end of this year, we're going to be nearly touching on 200 episodes, which is insane.
That's insane.
We're going to have to do something big for our 200. But of course, that's about it for this week. If you're watching on catch up, Sorrel, what do they need to put in the chat?
Hashtag catch up crew.
There we go. Thanks so much, everyone. Till next week. Keep it geek.
Game over, man. It's game over.
Like, share, subscribe, don't miss out.